Top 5 things every developer should know. Well, for one, there are more than 5. They can't just be 5. But for now, we're just going to focus on 5 of the things that came to my mind when I talk about writing this topic or creating this video. So we're just going to focus on 5 main things. You can agree or disagree, but let's go. Alright. Let's go to the top. How to learn quickly. I think this is a really important one, or the main one, or a very helpful one. However you want to describe it, being able to learn quickly is extremely convenient, or maybe the ability to learn a little bit quickly is a factor there. Because the kind of information you need to store is not feasible. There are too many changing requirements, changing languages. There's too many changes. So you really can't expect to know everything from the get-go. So you need to be able to adapt, and one of the best things that help in that is the ability to learn quickly. If you can learn quickly, you can adapt quickly and adjust to various situations. And you won't always be worried about needing to know exactly how to do something before you could estimate what is required, because you would have a familiarity with how fast you can pick up on a topic, and then you'll be able to work back from there, see how much you need to learn, and adjust and make a correct estimate. In the real world, it's very difficult to just know. In fact, it probably takes years of real life experience to get that just knowing factor. So while you are gaining that experience, what you want to be is a very good and a very effective learner. So specifically in programming, even though this could apply to life as well, specifically when it comes to programming, you want to be really good at learning, whether it be new languages or different frameworks, whatever is required to do your job correctly. New business processes, anything. The ability to learn quickly should really assist you in getting the job done quickly. How to focus. Seems kind of self-explanatory or simplistic, or something you should already know. If you don't know how to do it, it's really going to screw you up. You're going to need to have extended hours where all you're doing is just work or programming. And if you cannot focus, even if you spend 10 hours to complete a task, you still won't be complete, or you still won't have gone as far as you could have gone. Time out. Pikachu wins. Alright. I kind of figured my chair too. Right. So you need to be able to focus. You would have a lot of work to get done, most likely, and you will want to, one, give yourself the maximum amount of time to complete it correctly, to make any adjustments, to cater for any mistakes that you would make. And so you need to learn to manage your time effectively and work efficiently. You don't want to be wasting unnecessary time. So if you don't feel like coding, don't code. But when you do code, code well. That's not bad. especially if you do it after hours, maybe you feel tired, rest. I can't really advise this for work, but if you're taking your work home and you feel tired, feel free to rest. You wake up, you can get more work done, as opposed to trying to push through, making unnecessary mistakes that you would then have to correct. 3. Build only what is required. If you have to code as much as I do, this one, at least when I now started, this one really got to me. Because I get so excited about so many things that you could do and create, and so many features you could add, and how fancy you can make it. But it was just fluff. Primarily, you just want to do what you're supposed to do and do that well. You definitely want to build with the future in mind, but that in no way means you should have unnecessary no way means you should have unnecessary stuff. Building with the future in mind doesn't require you to have additional code that is not necessary. Building in the future in mind is more about structure. So all those fancy features that your application doesn't need, and the customer or client didn't ask for, leave it out. Unless they suggest it. Leave it out. They didn't ask for it. Leave it out. If you don't need it, leave it out. If it doesn't affect the end product, leave it out. If you think you need it in the future and you don't need it now, leave it out. If it doesn't make your life easier, leave it out. If it doesn't negatively impact security, leave it out. It's up to you to decide which direction you want to take this. But when you do decide, leave it out. That's a joke. But when you do decide, make sure your end product is as slim as possible, with as little overhead as possible. Because really, I say this a lot to myself, like, if you if you're working hard, you're doing something wrong, and that could be misunderstood. But really, the job, your job, especially as a programmer, is really to make your life easier as well as others' life easier. So others is in terms of the application is supposed to assist in making others' life easier. But how you structure your code should make your life easier. And the last thing you want to be doing is adding overhead, because that does not make your life easier. That gives you more things to manage. You might never need it, and you still put it in there. Why? You don't need it. You just want to be fancy. You just want to be pretty. You want to show off. No, don't do that. You're wasting time. You have better things to do. Stick to what is most important and leave the rest out. Never overpromise on features. Do I need to explain that? It's pretty straightforward. Don't overpromise on features. If you don't think you can do it, don't overpromise. That's all. Again, it's up to you to decide, but you should know what your ability is, what your timelines are, what your work schedule is. Just don't overpromise. You can underpromise. That's smarter to go. Definitely underpromise and then deliver. Over deliver. That's the saying. That's not what I'm going for. But that is the saying. So you can underpromise and then deliver to the client at a much faster time. That's up to you, but don't overpromise. Don't put yourself in that jam. You can add it later. Get the minimal viable product out. You can make changes later. You can make updates later. You want to get something done shortest time possible without affecting quality too much. Finally, consistency and workflow. Your application needs to have structure, otherwise I can't. 1 second. Otherwise it's going to slow you down. If you want to structure your application, it's going to slow you down. Why? Because you're going to be either repeating too much code. Okay, 1 second. Right, so you could be repeating code. You could be doing things that you've already done. You don't need to do again, which is the same thing as repeating code. So what you need to do is decide, while you're building your application, you want to keep something consistent. So let's say, that's a good example. There's so many languages, it's hard to choose one. Here's good. In terms of consistency, you don't want to repeat things, right? Basically. So if you have one function that does one thing, keep that function globally accessible however your language defines, so you can use it as many times as possible. If you sent out a message in a certain way, keep using that way. If you display a message or access the database in a certain way, keep using that way. You don't want to have too many different ways to do different things. So whichever way you're accustomed to do it, if you did it once, do it all the time throughout the whole code. That's consistency. One, it helps you in reuse, and it just helps you in flow because you already know what you're going to do. You don't have to think about it again. So when you build in, it should just, when you start to program or code, it should just be a flow of idea of everything that you need to do, and you just typing it out. These are the things that help me. Maybe it will help you too. Who knows? Alright, so I'm gonna stop there for today. Hopefully the volume was good. I highly doubt that, because I'm barely hearing myself. I think I'm gonna actually try to do one of these every day. It doesn't take so long. We see how it goes. Check out wftutorials.com for more programming tutorials. I have a blog, wftutorials.blog, for more general stuff. Alright, I'm out.